But so rarely I feel like we're being acknowledged for what we are deeply thirsty to be acknowledged for specifically. And truly, I think that the only way we could get that is to give it to ourselves. Just let yourself have it. Just give it to yourself. Help Me See is a podcast dedicated to the art of seeing. It's a space for the restless visionary with an insatiable desire to create the life and work you're meant for. My name is Bianca Leah Mora, and I'm a photographic artist, a mother, and a coach who's transformed my fear of loss into power, art, and philosophy. One of the scariest quotes I never want to say is, "I wish I knew at the time." But I truly believe that we have the innate ability to bring our wise 20/20 hindsight to our now. You can deeply experience your nostalgia now while it's actually happening with no regrets. All you have to do is see. In this show, we laugh, we cry, we get inspired, we overshare. We have life-changing conversations around making meaning, self-discovery, and shedding all of the BS layers in order to reconnect to our own sacred vision. Seeing yourself is an essential key to living powerfully. You are the vessel, the lens that filters absolutely everything in your life. What are you filtering for? Whether it be conversations with fellow artists and visionaries or my solo audio journal style introspective ramblings, each episode is meant to feel like an exhale, an unraveling of truth, a moment for you to be able to put your finger on something that you haven't been able to for far too long. Come exactly as you are. It's perfect. Honor your instincts. Let's uncover some of the most important things in our lives, which all too often can slip out from our view. Let's commit to seeing and consciously creating what only you can in your one and only life. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Help Me See. I am coming to you with an intro to a podcast episode that I recorded the other night. Every time I think, is it even possible for me to get more vulnerable? Yep, it is. And here it goes. So I'm recording an intro to set up the original episode because I really felt it was important to come to you and let you know that I seriously considered not posting or not uploading the one I originally had intended. See, I had this crazy, emotionally turbulent, chaotic night where it took me like 2.5 hours to put my son to bed. And I went through this like emotional roller coaster of like love, frustration, rage, guilt, anxiety, overwhelm, the whole thing. And then I came downstairs and all the other shit hit the fan. It was just one thing after another. Like it was a comedy of errors. I just kept saying, is this real life? Like what's happening? And, so as I was dealing with in the middle of it, I just felt like this needs to be shared. This needs to be talked about. This needs to just exist. And then after I did that, it really helped calm me and like bring me back down to, a level of acceptance with everything that's happening. And then the next day I woke up and, I was having a sweet morning with the kids. And you know how you like have like a vulnerability hangover sometimes, or like, you say something and you're like, should I have said that? I was thinking about the episode and I'm like, was I being dramatic? Like, I don't know. Is it really even helpful for me to be sharing. Like, I know the podcast is like, basically my audio journal, but like, I don't know. And then I realized this is the problem. Like, this is the fucking problem. Why do I feel like in order to share something, it needs to be useful? Why do I feel like in order for me, and I say feel like because subliminally I understand I feel like that. I mean, subconsciously, this is what is active, not cognitively, but it feels like I need to be providing something of worth, something that is, I don't even mean like good. I mean, unless what I'm sharing is deeply helpful to someone, I'm like, why am I doing it? But who am I to gauge that? The best, all that I can do is to be as honest as I can. As honest as my subconscious self will allow me to be. I say that because there have been times where I've been in like an NLP session as a client and said something, and then I'm like, well, apparently the NLP programming determined that was a lie. If you've gone through an NLP session with me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you have not, I encourage it for everyone and anyone that is even a little bit interested. It's so interesting. I have NLP session offerings. You could find it in my link in bio, but that's not what this is about. Sidetrack. Shameless random plug. Anyway, so yeah, I was just thinking like, this is why society, and more specifically as a gender, we've just been so conditioned to like make ourselves small and to, oh my gosh, apologize. Whenever anyone apologizes for getting emotional, oh my gosh, it's just like, can we all just make it normal that being honest and real and feeling things is real life? Feeling better about everything the next day and feeling like my cup was like, I wouldn't say full, but like back at a manageable height. I, started feeling like, okay, well, you know what? Now I can see that I just wasn't giving myself space to be in that experience. It just kept getting constricting and constricting and constricting. It just kept feeling like there wasn't enough time, there wasn't enough space, and I was panicking and I wasn't letting myself just be with it, which ultimately feels like the answer to 99.9% of everything. Just allowing yourself to be with it, allowing yourself to embrace the experience and trust it. This is why I have the most beautiful relationship with my photography. I 1,000,000,000% trust and allow myself to be in and with anything that's happening when I'm photographing anyone and anywhere, whatever it is. However, with my life, it's different. It's different. So I was thinking to myself, like, what would it mean? Like, what would that feel like? What would it mean if I didn't share like the rawness of that moment when I decided to record and just, try to make something more coherent or something more helpful or something, whatever, out of that, and let that be the podcast episode. Like, who is that really serving? And what, more importantly, like, what is that telling myself about my right and my ability to like express myself in it. You know, I shared a episode a while back now about sharing from the wound. Oh, it makes my blood boil when someone says, share from the scar, not from the wound. It's like, what? Why? Do you know how hard it is to connect to anyone actively going to through something when you're coming from it from this really beautiful healed place? Like it makes it feel so far away. It makes it feel like I don't think I will ever be able to get there because I can't even identify with the composure in your voice. Like, and it is important to share from the wound. It's important. Like, of course, not everyone wants it to be through a microphone. Of course, we don't need to be blasting all our shit if we don't want to be. But like, if someone feels compelled to do so, if someone feels like this is important, I don't know why. I don't have a solid reason or a business plan or any actual thing I can show you as to why I feel so compelled to put this out there, but I just know in my gut it's important. That is enough. That is enough. That is enough. You are enough as you sit there and breathe listening to this. You are enough. However you're doing it, if you're multitasking, if you're sitting there staring at a fucking wall. The more and more I find myself in this loop-de-loop, sick, gorgeous carnival ride. It feels like the bolts are coming out of it. The more I am convinced that the forgetting and the remembering is the point. It is the point. You know, I take a gajillion pictures, and then, especially with my personal work, for my family, I'll put them on my hard drive and I forget about them. I do not process them immediately. Sometimes it's years before I go back and look. And I love forgetting about those pictures I took. I love rediscovering them. I love finding like I just went in a time machine to the past in my present. I love seeing what I saw then and connecting back to what I felt. I love all of that. And what would that experience be if every picture I took, I immediately culled and edited and sorted and exported, and that was it. And that now it's just, that is so part of my process, is to be tangled up in it, be in my mess. I love my mess. And it sucks sometimes. I don't know why I'm crying. I don't know why that sentence just made me cry, but it did. Oh, it's okay to not feel like you have it all together. And this year, my word was centered. I just want to feel centered. I've always wanted that. Like, even from like being a little girl, I mean, preteen, teenager, I've just always wanted a sense of peace. I've just always wanted to feel peace. I was 12 years old writing in a journal that I just wanted inner peace. And I feel like I'm just now realizing that peace is not attainable through shoving out like whatever's already there. It's making space for all of it. And I'm making space for myself through, sharing some of the stuff that I'm like, maybe a little squirmy about. Because I think that the more of us that do that as a collective, I just feel like it helps us link arms with each other and brings us to this sense of freedom. we are all permission for everyone else witnessing us. We're permission, we're walking possibility for someone to even realize that maybe this is something that they're called to, or this is something that they're not wrong for. It's so easy to look at others with so much love and compassion. And I'm always so curious about why it's so hard to give that to myself. And really the thing that's opened that possibility for me is photographic medium and being able to see myself outside of myself in that way. We have to give ourselves permission to want what we want and be okay. I made a reel the other day on Instagram about this publication that I was published in, and there was a show, an exhibit for it, this whole thing, and it was in Rotterdam. It was something that really meant a lot to me because I got all choked up when I read the first little mission part of the book when it came, because I felt like for the first time, so specifically, I quote unquote accomplished something. Like something happened where I was acknowledged, but what I was being acknowledged for is something so viscerally important to me, and it's everything to me. And it was like written on the page. So many times that so many times when I've been accepted. This sounds so shitty. So many times though, when there's an award or an acknowledgement or getting into something, it just like, okay, yeah, okay, oh wow, finally, okay. And of course, like I love discovering other artists. That's my favorite part of it. And but so rarely I feel like we're being acknowledged for what we are deeply thirsty to be acknowledged for specifically. And truly, I think that the only way we could get that is to give it to ourselves. Just let yourself have it. Just give it to yourself. Like, why do I need this publication to give this to me? Like, when I started crying when I read this, I'm just like, okay, embrace it. Let yourself embrace it. It was Gup Magazine's Fresh Eyes 2024. And it was a selection of 100 photographers from like all around the world for in unique photography. And the quote is, "We take it as our mission to present you with the latest photography talents. Their unique visions open the doors to new perspectives and understandings of the world and primarily ourselves. Their unique visions open the doors to new perspectives and understandings of the world and primarily ourselves." That is it. And on top of it, one of my favorite photographs I've ever taken. Like, there's something about it that I love it so much. And I've submitted it so many times to so many things, and it's never gotten accepted. No one else has really remarked on it or whatever, but this one got in and it was full page, and oh, my heart. And of course, all of the synchronicities involved in this. It was a photo shoot of someone that I identify with as like a soul friend, like just like one of those people. And I'm kind of a tough cookie in this way. Like I never have had an overt craving to like make new friends. Like ever since I was 12, I found my friend and I was like, all right, I don't need any more friends. So I very slowly acquired them later in life. But she's just one of those people that I met, and everything about her I just love so much. And also, I'm gonna cry. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. But I won't apologize for being emotional right now. But I just got choked up because I realized, of course, um, she's probably listening to this. I love you. Anyway, but like, of course, when you let yourself be with the utmost sincerity and lead with your intuition and your intention and your gut, all of these things happen. Of course, I ended up in California there in order to do this. And of course I this, and of course I that. And of course, this is the one that finally, selected this image. And this is what their mission statement was. But I didn't have to wait for this to let myself embrace that. And when I made that real, I said, in one part, finally let yourself be proud for a minute. It's it was excruciating to write. It felt embarrassing to write that. So stupid. What, are we too cool to be proud of ourselves? I don't know. Okay, before I this is a really big lead up to to my ramblings, but it's the ramblings before the ramblings. I want to highlight something. Before it started getting stressful, when I was putting my son to bed, oftentimes I'll record voice memos of just our little conversations before they're falling asleep. And it's so funny when I know I'm being recorded. It's a very specific awareness, not only in my response and maybe I shouldn't be so snippy. This is on the record. But also in that I hear them deeper. When I know they're being recorded and I know whatever they're saying is being saved, it's like I hear it through ears that are 20 years older, achy in that moment. One of my good friends told me after one of our conversations about, just my thoughts around home videos and photographing and how it's a portal to presence and blah, blah, blah. Her son was throwing a tantrum and she was getting really frustrated. She just wanted to go inside. And then she pulled out her phone and started taking a home video on her phone of him. And she said, all of a sudden, it just felt it just relaxed her and thought oh, he's not always going to so ferociously want to stay outside and play with the stick. It's not always going to be like this. Not in a shaming way, not in a, scarcity. Oh my God, time's flowing by. But in a just dropping deeper into that moment. Whether it's your camera, whether it's your phone, whether it's a camcorder. These things are all vehicles to ground us and bring us into full awareness. Because when I'm freaking out and feeling oh my God, I just want to have some space to myself. I'm in constriction mode. I'm in one sliver of awareness of this does not feel good. I am frustrated. Oh my gosh. And it's just sharpening. But when, I don't know, what would have happened if I would have pressed record? Would I would have opened my awareness and been yes, this is so frustrating. And also, whatever, I don't know, blink. And also just create space around that. It's one of those things though, when you're truly panicking, it's hard to remember to breathe, right? But I don't know. I'm going to experiment next time, because there will be a next time. I will see if I pull out my voice memo and see if that helps. I feel like it will, because just in my body as I talk about it, it feels really right. Okay. If this hit home for you, if this was helpful, I would love to know. I would love to hear. If you feel compelled to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, apparently that helps other people find the show. And in doing so, we could help more people feel less alone. Okay, I am now going to drop that clip of my moment. And you know what? Before that, I will drop a tiny little snippet of the sweet recording that I had of my son before he went to sleep, before all of this happened. So you could really be in that contrast with me. So you could really feel the juxtaposition there. Okay. Enjoy.
They gotta talk.
Yeah, we gotta talk. Okay. Hello?
No.
No.
Silas,
no.
sorry.
Okay.
We're right down.
We're laying down. Did you have a good day today?
Yeah.
Yeah? What was your favorite part?
I mean about Daddy sleeping.
Yeah, Daddy's sleeping, yeah.
And about I'm watching videos. I'm watching just downstairs.
No, it's time for bedtime, okay? We're talking. What was your favorite thing you did today? What was the most fun? What do you think?
Being on the couch.
Being on the couch? That was your favorite thing you did today?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's on myself.
Because you what?
It's on myself.
Because you were by yourself on the couch?
Yeah.
Do you like to be by yourself on the couch?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that when you were napping?
Yeah, I am napping.
Did you like napping on the couch? I love you.
I love you.
My Siley. I love you bigger than the whole world. Do you have any questions for me?
Fox.
What?
The fox.
What about the fox?
Fox happy.
The fox is happy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
That's my mama.
That's my Siley.
I love you, Mommy.
I love you, Siley. Okay. This is not real life. I mean, this is also the realest life. I am coming to you because if I don't, I might freak out. I don't know how healthy a podcasting coping mechanism is. I am currently on the floor of my kitchen at 11:15 at night, picking up blueberries, a large container of blueberries, not the small one, that just fell out of the fridge and splattered everywhere. Let's rewind the tape a little bit. Right before this, I came down from the main event of what I was having a breakdown about, which was a 2.5 hour bedtime. And my dog I'm pretty sure, sharded on my couch. Yeah. And that was extra devastating because I was so hungry coming down from a 2.5 hour bedtime, and I didn't eat dinner. And all I want to do is sit on the couch and eat something, and then my dog leaks out of his ass. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry if you were tuning in whilst preparing dinner or eating breakfast. I don't know, but I mean, I know this is the universe talking to me in some way. Oh, and that sound that just came on, that's the sound of my brand new fridge. Not brand new. I mean, it's a year and a half, 2 years old. 2 years old. And it's making that noise. What the fuck? What? And this past weekend, I had what I thought was food poisoning. Could have been a stomach bug. Who knows? All I know is it was not good. And laid me out for 2 days. I felt awful. So I have this thing where I'm committed to going to bed with the kids every night because they want that. And I damn well know they will not always want their mommy to go with them to sleep. And most nights it's beautiful, and even when it's not, I'm still so committed to doing that. Like, I don't feel the need to teach them to go to sleep on their own, or, I know that this is what I'm choosing. However, there are some nights where that is so fucking hard. It's mostly with my younger one now, who really puts up a fight with sleeping. And I know it's so temporary, and I know it's so sweet, and it always starts out so sweet and cuddly, and then the longer time passes that I'm laying there and he's making weird noises or like kicking the wall or talking at regular volume in a dark room, or my nervous system just starts boiling. Like, oh my gosh. And I'm pleading with him, like, just please close your eyes. Please lay still. Let's take deep breaths. And I'm like, there's this trajectory that happens. And oh my gosh, it's so wild. I get so mad at myself. I get so frustrated. And you know what it is too? It's feeling the heaviness of sleepiness enter my body and knowing that, like, I might fall asleep here, or everything I wanted to do for the night, or even if it's nothing to do, just time to myself at the end of this night is not going to happen. And like, with each chunk of like 5-10 minutes, it just makes me want to scream, cry. Earlier today, I saw on Instagram, someone posted a beautiful reel about blurring the lines between art and motherhood. It was beautiful and inspiring, and I was so fucking triggered. I was like, I have not figured that shit out. And I don't know if there is a figuring it out. When I read that, first of all, I was thinking, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And I wish that I could relate to that, but I don't. I had such like a stabbing pain of like, what if I want lines between my art and my motherhood? What if I want lines? Which is impossible, right? In so many ways. Motherhood is art in and of itself. But oh my gosh. I know my kids are the priority. I know that at the end of the day, no matter how much I love my art, like my relationship and my time with them is the most precious thing. What makes it so difficult is truly like the wear and the like sometimes assault on the nervous system in that choice. I felt it tonight, even when I was laying in bed with him, and he finally, after like over 2 hours, started to like just relax and stay still, which, odds are my freaking energy of desperateness, like, oh my God, please go to sleep, please go to sleep, was probably not helping soothe him, but I could just feel like my muscles start to unclench slightly and slowly. Like the more I was like, okay, I think he's actually going to sleep. No, part of me really wants to find this romantic, gorgeous way to intertwine my art and my work and the things that fill my cup up in my own self way, my own selfish way, if you will, whilst being with my kids. Like that is an absolute dream. And then there's another part of me that's like, do I really want to force those two things together? Like when right now it feels so inherently separate. And maybe when I release and loosen the grip of this whole situation in general, will I finally find a way that feels good sometime? Even in the mornings, I try to wake up earlier so I could spend some time reading just for me. And of course, when I wake up, the kids have like energetic radar on me and they wake up too. And it is so sweet. And I really love cuddling with them in the morning. And then I'll put on like a show or something for them. And then I'll lay down and be like, okay, I'm going to read. And you guys, and I'll set them up with a snack or, breakfast, whatever. And it was like every 2 seconds, something else, want something else, and they need something else. And I can't read more than a sentence at a time. And I'm like, what? I can't. I just can't. Like, just attempting to do this right now is not healthy for me because it's making me so frustrated that I can't. It's like, again, I took my son to Barnes and Noble and I'm like, oh, it's so sweet. I love being here. And then I'm like, wait a minute. This is a place where I actually really want to like peruse and look and turn book covers over and like just explore. And I can't because I'm with my son. And of course, what is he going to do? Just sit there like a robot? Like, of course he doesn't want to do that. So I'm putting myself in a place where I'm so tempted and it's so close yet so far. And it's so funny. As soon as I give myself a moment to take a breath, I think, oh my gosh, I feel like I sound so ungrateful and I'm not complaining, but I am, but I'm not, it's like, oh God, whatever. I release that. This is my fucking show. Bless your soul if you're here. If this is helpful to you. And if you feel judgmental about whatever is shared here, then I'm sure you tuned out a long time ago. So Oh my gosh. And then you would think when I travel for work and I'm away for a week and a half at a time that I'm like breathing in the West Coast air and thriving in all these different ways, but I'm not. It's so hard to be away. It's so hard, and oftentimes I can barely focus on my work. It's sick. It is sick. Oh my God, it's so fucked up. Oh my God. I share all this with so much love in my heart for, first and foremost, my children. This wouldn't even be, it would be nothing. It wouldn't even be an issue if I didn't love them with every ounce of my being. I have love for myself in sharing this because I have a right to be feeling these feelings. And the reason I even come on here to share mostly is for you listening, hearing any shred that lets you exhale and think, oh my God, it's not just me. Okay. Okay. All right. You know, some of the most traumatic things that I've come up against in my life are the things that I felt so alone and felt like I had such whiplash and didn't know, never heard of anyone speak of it like that. And of course, it's not that hearing someone else's experience is going to break your fall and deeply comfort you when you're going through it. Maybe to some degree, but when you don't even understand that something is in a realm of possibility or present for someone else, that alienation makes everything so much more painful and scary. So, artist mother, the ultimate creator. I see you. I am you, and I support you. There are moments where I take a pause and I think, how could I be like of service? How could I offer anything that would be helpful in this? And it's so hard to do that right now because I am literally in it. Like it just happened. Like I am dreading going back upstairs to clean poop off of my couch. Like, could I be any more in it? Oh gosh, it sounded like Chandler Bing. Oh, Chandler. Oh my gosh. This is a chaotic episode. If this is your first time tuning in, hi, my name is Pia. You know, I rarely ever think about new people tuning in. But oh, there are some episodes where wow, it would be a real doozy to do so. I don't know. I think when we're in the deepest pits of it and the rage and the frustration and the impossibilities and the possibilities and all of it that happen in our quest to live our lives fully and deeply and love and be with our children and be with our art and our most powerful work and the stuff that we're feeling this invisible compulsion to create and bring into this world. I think that's when you have no energy and you don't feel like speaking to a soul and you just want to crawl under your covers. And yet having someone to share honestly and vulnerably and truly, like, even, I mean, I'm so much more relaxed now after just coming and sharing with you. And I mean, it's not even live. So right now is me sitting on this couch talking to my phone. I think we all just need someone else to say, yeah, me too. Just that nod of solidarity, that feeling of, no, you're not a monster. No, you're actually a brilliant mother. No, I know you know that it won't always be like this. But that doesn't mean that you need to stop living half of your life until then. I think it is a very worthwhile quest to find what feels good for you and find a world and a life where you can do both. You can have both. You can be with both. Maybe not at the same time, maybe at the same time. Whatever it is, I'm forever looking for ways to live my life so that I can feel whole. There are a million moments throughout my day where I feel this wholeness, the glowing gratefulness, and they happen in instants. And then there are times where it just feels like gaping. Like, what's the quote? Each breath is a chance to begin again. Is that it? Who said it? I don't know. But it's true. Each breath is a chance to begin again. So I'm going to take another breath. I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to clean poop off of my couch. I don't know if I will be able to eat a snack after that. And I will probably put on Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm grateful to have this space to be honest and to vent. And I believe that it's so important that in and of itself that I refuse to put bells and whistles on it. If it's not there, I don't have any tips and tricks for you. But I do know that this is the most worthwhile endeavor. Okay. Signing off. I love you. Good night.